one good sperm and one good egg is all what is required to produce one single healthy baby. And that is what we are aiming. We are aiming to improve the quality.
So, doctor, you have already told us what are the tests and blood tests and all. So, are there any tests to check the male infertility?
Yes. So, the tests start from the clinical examination. His height, what is the weight, is he having androgenic obesity or not, is he having some symptoms of thyroid like thyroidmegaly, is there any symptoms of elevated serum prolactin, any metabolic syndrome, his blood pressure, his lipid profile. These are all the basic general physical health things which may be altered in cases who are having male infertility.
Okay, so these are the tests, guys. So let's talk about the treatment. I know that there are very multiple treatments of male infertility, but doctor, please describe with an example कि अगर ऐसा patient है तो फिर उसके लिए treatment होना चाहिए. If you want to talk about any cases of yours, so please tell us about that.
Yes. So surprisingly, Shalu, 90% of the men they are having mild oligoasthenoteratozoospermia, that is we call as mild oats syndrome, and that is all related to the lifestyle. So first and foremost is that we have to have a healthy diet, healthy lifestyle, exercise, aerobic, no smoking, no alcohol. At least smoking needs to be stopped or drastically reduced. These are all the factors which will increase. These are very slow process, but they will increase the quality of the sperm.
So what are the treatment of male infertility?
Alright, so treatment of any infertility depends upon both the partners. We have to take in consideration a lot of socio-cultural, financial, emotional aspects. Everything has to be taken in consideration, and then a treatment plan tailored according to the patient's needs and their socio-cultural, financial factors that should be discussed. There is no one quick jhatka that no gutka, nothing is there. So we make a plan out of it. So if a male partner is coming, we know that there is no difficult causes there, just certain lifestyle modifications are needed in terms of active lifestyle or an antioxidant rich diet. That we need to correct sleep patterns, smoking avoidance, and then we work on we can prescribe few antioxidants which contain a lot of multivitamins, again antioxidants, omega-3 fatty acids. These are the things that first and foremost that we need to correct. And then if the female partner is also healthy and mild male factor is there, they can conceive spontaneously. No treatment per se is needed for that. But yes, if the male partner is showing count severe oligozoospermia, less than 5 million per ml, that is a severe count. Then we need to think, what is the cause of it? Is there any genetic disease underlying? What about it? It is recommended by Indian fertility societies, all the Western societies, European societies, the ASRM, the American Society of Reproductive Medicine, that whenever we find oligozoospermia less than 5 million per ml, then we need to do the karyotype of the husband or the partner. There are certain genetic diseases that Y chromosome microdeletions and
genetic counseling also.
Genetic counseling. Then we need to look in the detail.
So, doctor, if a person has 20% motility or only 10 to 15 million counts, so with the antioxidants and some medicines, can we increase that count?
Yes, why not? Why not? But it will take time. So that is what I'm saying, that we have to take the entire history, how long the couple has been married, is there any history of miscarriages, is there any history of female partner tubal block or something, then we make a plan. So it has to be in conjunction with both the partners, how much time do they have. The treatment plan should be an acceptable, tailor-made according to the patient's factors.
Okay. सो यू मीन टू से दैट हर पेशेंट के अकॉर्डिंग अलग अलग ट्रीटमेंट होता है। और ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर पेशेंट दूसरे किसी पेशेंट और अपने किसी रिलेटिव से कंपेयर करने लगते हैं कि जी उनका तो ये हुआ था, उनका तो ऐसे हुआ था, उनका तो वैसे हुआ था। सो ऐसा नहीं होता है। हर पेशेंट का, हर एक कपल के लिए अलग अलग ट्रीटमेंट होता है और उनकी हिस्ट्री सब कुछ चीज़ें देख कर ही डॉक्टर उनका ट्रीटमेंट प्रिस्क्राइब करते हैं।
So every couple is unique.
So, ma'am, when we talk about the male infertility treatment, so what are the treatment for a couple who has azoospermia or oligozoospermia?
So for mild male factor infertility, IUI is a very good option. What we do in IUI is basically we are correcting 3 factors. We process the semen. The semen has dead cells. The sperm, when we process the semen sample, we take out the dead cells, we enhance the motility of the sperm, and at the correct timing, that is at the time of the ovulation, we place the semen at a place closer to the tube. So these are the 3 factors that we are negating or enhancing through the process of IUI. It is a very simple process. There is no cut, no stitch, no anesthesia is required. It is done in OPD. And for mild male factor infertility, this is a process which is very beneficial.
Okay. And in which case we have to go for the TISA and micro TISA? And what are the benefits of micro TISA?
Okay. So I had said earlier, azoospermia can be obstructed or non-obstructive. Non-obstructive azoospermia means there is less production of sperms in the testes, but the sperms are present in the testes. So what we do generally is take a small biopsy. We do an ultrasound of the testes, we know the volume, the size of the testes, and we take a small biopsy, a small part which we see under the microscope. And there are various pathologies that we can see, but most importantly, when we do a TISA, that is at the time of the ovum pickup of the female, we put in a needle at multiple places and take out the sperms, and we look at under the 6600 microscope magnification, and then we are able to see the sperm morphology, and the best sperm is selected to be injected into the ovum of the female partner. So this is called TISA. In few cases we get sperms from TISA only. It is a procedure which is done under local anesthesia and not very painful, no cut, no stitch, no blood loss. But in few cases where the biopsy tells us some typical findings, we have to plan micro TISA. A micro TISA is a more comprehensive, more detailed examination where the person is put under the GA and a special urosurgeon comes and he splits wide open the testes, and then under magnification he takes out multiple biopsies and we look for a healthy sperm under the magnification, the highest possible magnification, and then we select. So in even cases of azoospermia, we are able to help the individuals by making them opt for either TISA or micro TISA, depending upon the results of the biopsy that we have.
But both the cases we will perform after the testing that they have the spermatozoas in their body.
See, yeah. So we should know beforehand what is the pathology, whether it is only Sertoli cell syndrome, whether it is spermatogenesis arrest, or various other types of pathologies.
Okay. And what is the recovery period of TISA and micro TISA?
So generally there is no bed rest which is required, but restriction of activities like jogging or cycling, that may be for 2 weeks. The patient can resume the work within 2 days, and yes, a tight bandage or a tight underbrief is given for 1 or 2 weeks, which is absolutely normal. The patient undergoing TISA or micro TISA is discharged on the same day. Yes. So in certain cases of obstructive azoospermia, we can offer them reconstructive surgeries, but it is little controversial because the tube, which is micromillimeters in diameter, we are trying to surgically correct. It might lead to a normal function. There are chances of failure, there are chances of reobstruction, and depending upon how much length of the tube is damaged, whether it is single site, whether it is multiple sites, generally urosurgeons are the best people who can take a stand on the reconstructive surgeries. but yes, they are possible.
So, is there anything like that enhanced spermatozoa counts, like yoga or diet? Anything special for the male infertility?
See, Shalu, I believe in let food thy be medicine. Food and lifestyle should be our medicines. So food including lot of antioxidants, including fruits, berries, turmeric. We are in Indians, we are already blessed with a good diet. We Indians are already blessed with a good diet, but conscious efforts of taking more of omega-3 fatty acids, which are included in nuts like walnuts, pistachios, these should be taken regularly. Stress-free life, because you know whatever happens in the mind happens.
Stress and smoke-free, obviously.
Definitely. And we can't do much about the pesticides that we are taking in day-to-day life. This is how the life is. But going out in fresh air, doing some kind of stress-relieving exercise in the form of yoga or anything is definitely.
And one more thing, Doctor, we didn't talk about the like any medical disease like hypertension or diabetes and all. They are going to affect this spermatozoa count, right?
See, hypertension per se has not been scientifically proven. Yes, the medicines of hypertension may affect because they affect the liver enzymes. So they may, and the testosterone and the estrogen hormones, they are attached to the liver enzymes. So in very long chronic term, they may affect, but as of yet it is not proven. But diabetes per se, blood sugars when they are for a long time unchecked in high range, they do affect the whole body, including the eyes, the kidneys, and yes, they might affect this.
One more question I have in my mind, that doctor, if a person is having a neurological disorder, like if a child is autistic, will he be having effect on their spermatozoa?
No. So there are certain genetic conditions like XXY or other genetic disorders. They might one of them is cystic fibrosis, where there is mutation in the CFTR gene. CFTR gene. There the spermatogenesis is affected. Apart from it, autistic or neurological disorders, I don't think so.
Okay. डॉक्टर, अभी आजकल के टाइम में कैंसर बहुत ही ज़्यादा इंक्रीज हो रहा है, वहीं मेल इनफर्टिलिटी भी कैंसर की वजह से भी इंक्रीज हो रही है, तो उसके बारे में आप क्या कहना चाहोगे?
इट इज़ अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन, शालू. Yes, we are getting a lot of cancer cases, and we need to know that before, at the time of diagnosis of cancer, the family atmosphere is like, they are very fearful and they cannot think, the mind goes blank. So at that time, I need to tell, even if some doctors are watching this podcast, please tell your patients that you have the option of fertility preservation. In male infertility, it's all the more easier. We just need 2 or 3 semen samples. So if the boy is post-pubertal, we just need to have 2 or 3 frozen semen samples. That's it. Yes. So it's very quick. It will not hamper the treatment of the cancer, but all the patients who are dealing with cancer and who will undergo the surgery or the chemotherapy regimen, they should have the option of choosing fertility sparing or fertility preservation, which is in semen sample.
So please आप इस बात को समझिए कि अगर आपके बच्चों को अगर आपका बेटा है और या फिर कोई भी आप पर्सन हो जो आप इस चीज़ को समझते हो कि कैंसर आपके स्पर्मेटोजोआ काउंट को इफेक्ट कर सकता है, तो प्लीज़ इस चीज़ को समझिए कि आपको अपने स्पर्म्स फ्रीज करके रखने हैं. दैट इज द प्रिजर्वेशन ऑफ योर स्पर्म्स. सो आप प्लीज़ अपने स्पर्म्स को फ्रीज कराएं, और अगर आप कराना चाहते हैं तो आप नीचे दिए गए नंबर पर कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं. दिस इज ऑल अबाउट मेल इनफर्टिलिटी. So if you have any questions regarding male infertility, or if this is your case and you want to discuss about your case, you can contact the number given below. मैं डॉक्टर शालू आपको कंसल्ट कराऊंगी डॉक्टर शिप्रा गुप्ता से, who is the infertility specialist doctor. सो नेक्स्ट वीडियो में हम बात करेंगे कुछ फीमेल इनफर्टिलिटी के बारे में. सो फीमेल इनफर्टिलिटी के ऊपर नेक्स्ट वीडियो देखना ना भूलें. स्टे ट्यून्ड.